Some scientists have come up with a cure for bird flu. It's somewhat to do with some stuff in horses. They gave the flu to a mouse and then injected it and it's well again. I think we should stop coming up with cures for things as the germs are just getting stronger and stronger. I reckon by 2020, germs will be so big that we will be able to see them in the air. They will no longer be little particles. You wouldn't swallow one. If you did, it won't be the germ that will kill you. You'll just choke to death.
I think that's how we'll die in the future.
Choking on enormous giant germs. And they'll be like rampaging around the cities, will they?
I'll tell you what, though, right? I'm getting worried now because the stuff he believes and thinks of, it could be mental. Do you know what I mean, though? Like a proper paranoid sort of... one of those people that soon going to live in a loft covered in tinfoil.
Yeah.
Right? And pages of the Bible all the way around the... and Suzanne's having to put on some sort of spacesuit to come in and give him his beans on toast.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to polish each bean.
That's what scientists do, isn't it? They just sort of think ahead of everyone else. That's what I'm doing. And the weird thing is, right, Steve, sometime last week, there was a science piece which was close to what I'd already said.
Yeah.
That they've got some germs that like eating sugar, right? They stick them in a lunchbox with a chocolate bar. Within an hour, it was gone. Right, and they say now these germs love chocolate and stuff.
Did this scientist leave it near this fat scientist that works in the same laboratory? And he went, it's unbelievable. He said, Ted, he went, what? Right, I put the chocolate bar in here with the germ. I came and it's gone, that's amazing. Well, that's brilliant, that. Do it again. What? Do it again. Leave another one, see if it happens again.
So in the future, you're running around and germs are...
eating chocolate.
Right. That's not science, that's Pac-Man.
Well, it's that time again.
It's Karl's diary.
Oh, what's he written today?
Told Suzanne that I had read that we will have spoken to aliens by the year 2025. Ricky once told me that if a lion could speak English, it still couldn't have a good chat with us because its life is different to ours. If that's true, we've got no chance with an alien. I'd be worried that an alien could read my mind. I had that problem once years ago, when I worked in a studio making cassettes. Some mind-reading woman was having some cassettes made. She waited while I did them. She had a small dog. I knew she was trying to read my mind, so I just thought about the dog. I thought that would confuse her, because she wouldn't understand why I was thinking about her dog.
That's amazing.
So, firstly, how did you know she was a mind-reading woman?
Everybody who came in having cassettes done, you'd find out about what the job is. So, if it's a band or whatever, it might be a police station needing blank cassettes to interview people.
Yeah.
And she had them to sort of use during a thing where they do mind reading and stuff. So you get a recording of it.
Yep.
And she was just there and she was staring at me like that, just looking over. And a dog was sort of looking worried, and they pick up vibes, don't they?
No.
They do.
And why was...
Were they looking... I'm not being funny. Were they looking at the roundness of your head, do you think?
They were just looking at me, and I was sort of panicking a bit. And the more that I was thinking she's reading my mind, I was thinking she knows that I know that she's reading my mind. So I just stopped thinking about her reading my mind, thought about the dog.
What were you thinking about the dog?
Just running about on the beach.
He remembers what he was thinking.
No, just so she thought, oh, hang on a minute, it's not his mind, it's the dog's mind I'm picking up.
Oh, so you thought she'd go, oh no, I'm getting it all tangled up. I've got a cross line here.
I met up with my mate Laurie. He said he was in a pub at the weekend and saw a bloke whose hands were on the wrong arms.
No! What do you mean?
Well, he had his left hand on his right arm and the right hand on the left arm. I don't think this would be a problem if he's been like that from an early age. When I was in Ripley's in LA, I saw a bloke whose head was on back to front.
That's more annoying, isn't it, than your hands? Isn't it?
Now then, would you walk... How would you walk? Would you be walking backwards, Karl, so that you could walk... So you're basically walking forwards?
I reckon I'd walk sideways so nobody would sort of tell the difference. It just looked like...
Oh, God! He solved it again!
He's thought it through. Oh. Got home and read my magazine. There was a story about a baby that was born that looked like a frog. What magazine's this?
That made the news. That was in a proper newspaper in the end.
It didn't really have a neck or top half of its head. It would look all right if it always wore a scarf and a hat. The world would be a more interesting place if there were loads of different types of humans like there are creatures. Then some people would be good at certain jobs. Spider people, ant people, builders, cockroach people, dustbin men.
Good idea, isn't it?
I mean, I mean,
Cockroach men, spider men. What are you talking about?
Look at some insects, right?
Yeah.
They don't have machinery, yet they're getting by, aren't they? They have their lives like we do. They get up, they wander about, they collect food, they tidy up, they fix stuff, they make their own house. We can't do any of that. So what I'm saying is, why aren't we using them? Why are these cockroaches with all these powers and stuff going about?
it's all these
But
powers.
how could we use them? How could we harness them?
Just told you, dustbin men. Or whatever that's
No,
called.
you said that if they were also men, if they were cockroach men, we could use them.
You've left a big bit out, but when that 1-inch cockroach becomes a 6-foot bloke wearing a jacket.
It's just that we always use insects for like a bit of fun. You see flea circuses and all that, which is all very well, but I don't think it's getting the most out of them.
Woke up at 9:55 a.m. Soon as I woke up, I looked at Suzanne and she looked at me. I said, "Did I tell you about the immune system?" Suzanne started laughing. I said, "It's amazing." She said, "Not now."
Oh God! I was thinking that.
Springing into action, he zips up, his eyes are like... Did I tell you about the immune system? Oh, shut up, Carl. Put the kettle on.
Oh God! Oh fucking hell!
Oh, chimpanzee, that is raining down again.
Extracts from his famous diary. Box jellyfish, crocodiles, snakes, blue ring octopus, red-black spiders, funnel web spiders, great white sharks. Just some of the reasons that put me off going to Australia. Every creature is bigger and angrier than anywhere else on the world. I put it down to two things. One, it could either be because spiders and snakes and the like normally hide under rocks. The Earth is one big rock. Australia's at the bottom of the big rock, and they're trying to hide under it.
Carl,
valid,
you
isn't
are
it?
a maniac.
It's just thinking about it, thinking about where spiders go and that works, doesn't it?
No.
Why doesn't that work like a
Because
rock?
there's no real upside down and bottom of the Earth, is it? It's all relative to what? It's relative to what? A map that you saw.
Well, it's a coincidence, isn't it?
No, right, okay, read on.
I've heard that a lot of people go camping in Australia, which I think's mental. If I was to fly all that way, I'd want a decent bed. Plus, I wouldn't be camping in a place where there are killer spiders wandering around.
I agree.
I've only been camping a few times, and each time I was glad when it was over. The last time was last year in Lyme Regis.
Yeah.
When did you go camping in Lyme Regis?
Last year. It's all right, Lyme Regis, but it was all a bit of a nightmare because I was going with my mate, and he said he knew someone who knew someone who had a bit of land in the garden.
We had a bit of land in the garden.
What's the point, though, innit? You know, what's the point of camping in someone's garden where there's a sort of like a spa down the road and like a pub?
No, because you're by the sea, aren't you? It's getting away from it all, seeing the world.
It's not if you're in someone's front garden.
No, back.
Oh, sorry.
Well, there's even less to see except 3 fences.
No, but it's private, isn't it? So the thing is, he said, oh, it's a great garden, the owners are away, and there's a toilet, an outside toilet that they have
Getting
for like
away
when they
from
have
it, innit?
parties
Yeah.
and stuff. So we get there, and this lad who knew about this bit of land,
Someone's back garden.
well, yeah, said, oh, you can't use it, they haven't gone on holiday.
So now you're stuck in the middle of a big civilised conurbation called Lyme Regis. How are you going to survive?
Well, we ended up just sort of keeping on the beach. But
Did you pitch your tent on the beach?
put the tent on the beach. We found somewhere where there was a load of rubbish. So we thought,
nice.
That's the place to go, yeah.
lovely.
No,
A
well,
municipal tip.
What was it? Was it chemical waste or just like, you know...
No, just
um,
Coke
Was it just
cans and
syringes
stuff.
and...
Oh, lovely.
But listen, though,
Baby
you've got to
diapers,
think
sure.
about that.
rusty.
If there's,
What's something rusty?
if there's rubbish there, it means it was a good place to camp.
Why?
Why?
Because other people have camped there.
Right.
So that's how you've got to look at it. It's a way. That's like a little tip of.
So you could have slept
first
in a
thing-
public lavatory.
Yeah. This one's nice. What? It's covered in shit. Means other people have had a shit here.
Welcome to our 5-star hotel. You'll notice vomit over all the fucking walls.
So that means people have had a good time here. They got right pissed up and threw their lungs up.
So that's where we put down the tent. We put down the tent there, and then what was annoying is
he puts down a tent.
we what's the name? We
It was already up.
It was
carried
already
it all the way
carried it all
from
the way
London.
there. And they went, let's pack it down.
the weird thing was, soon as we set up, some other people turned up.
Oh, that's all the rubbish tip. Holiday makers,
They started setting up their tents. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, look, there's some nappies over there.
Yeah.
Nearer the nappies.
And they offered us some sausages.
All right.
My mate said, "Oh, ignore them. That's like code." for swingers.
What?
No!
What? So there were some people cooking some sausages,
Yeah.
saying, "Would you like the sausages? We've made too much." And you
It's
said,
just
"No,
that
that's
thing.
code
Don't
for
talk
swinging."
to strangers. It's like we want to get away from it all.
Yeah.
We don't want someone. You know, it starts off with sausages, doesn't it? And then before you know it,
but what do these people look like?
they were about 45.
Who are they? That
A man and a woman.
a man and a woman. So what was in it for the bloke?
Some people like that, don't they?
I
I
mean,
don't know.
you say, right, I want the bald one, love. If it's like wife swapping, shouldn't one of you be a wife?
No, but I don't know all the rules and that. But
He's just got a real thing for fucking oranges.
and we didn't want any sausages anyway, so we just sort of
I
said,
don't believe sausages is a code for swingers. Because eventually, how many times do they give someone sausages and they go, "Well, get your pants off," and they go, "Wait a minute, we just have some sausages." They go, "Oh, this isn't working, this code.
But why
we need
would
a better
they be,
code."
Why would we be being offered sausages?
Because they're nice people and they're making sausages.
Makes you wonder.
We don't. Let's not trust these people. Let's move our tent nearer to the corpse.
So yeah, that was the camping.
September 30th. Going away with Suzanne's mum and dad. We're meeting them at Madeira Airport as they're flying in from Manchester. The plane was full and I had a headache. There was a baby sat behind us that was crying its eyes out for the whole flight. The mother of it said it was upset because its ears were hurting. So were mine. We went to try and find a supermarket. Suzanne's man was having a go at her dad because he didn't have a shirt on. She said he looks a mess and is embarrassed to be seen with him. It's their Ruby anniversary tomorrow.
That's why we went away.
Oh yeah.
I bought a fan to put in our room to drown out the sound of the mopeds. I've heard Wayne Rooney does the same thing with a vacuum cleaner. What?
If you've just got a noise that's constant, it makes you nod off. And it drowns out every other background noise. So all you've got is like, if it's a vac, it's just... And if that's constant for like all night, you just nod
People
off.
next door going, they've got their vacuum cleaner on again. But poke the chickens.
That's how nuclear wars start.
Yeah.
It works.
Doesn't work.
We watched-
Earplugs, drown out everything.
I've tried them. I didn't like it, did I?
Why not?
Because I could hear my heartbeat.
Oh, you're such a strange little creature. Oh.
Didn't do much this morning. Just sat by the pool, saving insects that flew into it.
I'm gonna die like fucking Noah. That's amazing. Nothing good.
How were you saving them? Did you wait for them to hit the water, then fish them out, or you grab them in the air?
Stuck my finger on the top. They grabbed on, lifted it off.
And what, when it, like some sort of insect lifeguard, you'd see someone landing, you go, right, that's me, dun, 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 and you'd go in there.
But it's hard to turn a sort of a blind eye to stuff like that because you know that's something, you know, you're witnessing death. And if you can save something, you do, don't you? You do your bit. And at night, I'd sort of think, have they learnt the lesson or will they be back and will they be dead in here tomorrow? But if they can get an extra day, I've done my bit. I can't do more than that. I'm on holiday, do your bit. I'm lucky enough to see the world, do your bit.
I love it.
I did my bit.
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that he was running around saving flies and things.
Is there something? There's something so sort of.
Meanwhile, an old lady drowned
Yeah.
while he was saving a beetle. Oh, chimpanzee, that is raining down.
That's the jingle there for Carl's diary. Here we are. Spoke to Ricky and his friend Glyn about art. I just don't get it. Ricky had some odd pictures on his walls. I don't have any pictures up in my flat because of the mirrored wall. But I can't say I'm bothered. The mirrored wall, we should just explain what that is. When you moved into your flat, there was an enormous mirror on one wall. Was that right?
We just got this flat and, you know, it's not a big flat. So I think the people who had it before us, he was a gay fella, right? Which was a bit like, oh, so you've been doing with that mirror and that. But that was...
What?
No, just, you know... Just,
What?
Well, what has he been doing with the mirror?
Well,
What's
they're
he
just
been
a
doing?
bit-
Why-
No,
what?
it's just because they're quite sort of experimental in it, aren't they? And
I don't know. What do you mean? What do they do?
Well, I wouldn't know anything about it, but go on.
No, what do you want? What?
no, I don't.
Experimental in what
What do
way?
you mean experimental?
I just mean, you know, they'd be doing stuff.
What?
Whatever they do.
Chemistry.
What?
They have a chemistry set out. They were doing experiments. What?
No, just doing what.
Singing "I Am What I Am" and just checking out
No,
the
each to
dance
their own. I'm not
moves.
having a go at anyone, but
What?
I'm just saying, like, they're doing what they're doing. which
Carl, you're
is
not
annoying as
homophobic,
well.
are you?
Because,
You're not
no,
st-
I'm not. I'm
Well-
not. This is why.
Why are you worried about what a little gay fella was doing in your flat before you got it in front of a mirror?
I wasn't worried about it.
Why
I
are
mean,
you thinking about what he was doing? Why are you fantasising what a little gay fella was doing in front of your mirror in your...
I'm not bothered. I'm just telling you why it was a bit odd that he had a mirror in there, right? But forget the history.
But you've got a mirror in there now, haven't you?
No, because what I did was I was going to take it down, and I thought, it's a bit dangerous. This, it could crack and
Because it's the
fall on
size
me.
of the whole wall, isn't it?
It took up a whole wall.
Right.
So like when he's moving about everywhere, he's got a good view of it and that. But he's got this full wall of mirror, and I thought I can't take that down. And I thought, what can I do? So I've just put wallpaper on it,
Brilliant.
and it looks all right. You wouldn't know, what have you? But it means that I can't put any pictures up. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because I've put a nail in.
And what don't you understand about art? What about art don't you understand? The concept? Specifics?
No,
So-
that's like when we were in London having a shop around at Christmas, and there was that picture of fruit for 700 quid. It's like, well, just get some fruit. You know what I mean? You can get some real fruit for 3 quid.
Yeah.
I understand that, but don't invent cameras then, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? That's what annoys me. Someone invents something, and then they go, we've got to invent something else. Like the abstract thing. Why has someone gone, I can't have paintings anymore because...
What do you think of Dali? Going, melting clocks and stuff? No?
I mean, the first one was all right when he did the first clock, but then all the time he's just like, I'll draw something and it's got a melting clock on it. I'll do a sheep, put one of them on it.
Have you seen his lobster telephone?
That annoys me.
Why?
Because I think what annoyed me more with that is when he heard about how it happened, he had some artist mate round, right? And I don't know what happened. They were eating.
That's a good hell of an anecdote.
No, but they were eating. They were eating some food and what have you.
Yeah.
Lobsters?
And they were eating lobster.
All right.
And
That's handy.
I don't know, the other artist, whoever it was, sort of
Telephone?
started saying, you and your clocks and all that, right?
Brilliant.
And,
This didn't happen.
They started arguing,
Yeah.
and he chucked some of the lobster.
Bollocks.
And it landed on
It
the phone.
bounced off his mate's head, went on the phone, and they both looked at each other like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And they brought out that phone as a bit of art. Things like that annoy me. Because
happen.
it was them just messing about.
That didn't happen.
Just telling you what I know. I saw his work. Each to their own, if that's what he's doing. I'm just saying, I'm not putting my stamp of approval on it. Art should be there to tell a story, not just to have a splash of colour. We know.
Well, Suzanne like some art? Just like Suzanne's not allowed to watch telly unless it's a favourite thing. Otherwise, she's got to talk to me about stuff. There's no art. There's no point. Just wallpaper.
I'm just saying, we've got three windows we can look out of.
Right.
Right? Stop looking at the walls. Look out the window.
My mum phoned and said that my Auntie Nora, the classic Auntie Nora, wanted me to look on the internet to find out what the weather will be like in Spain at the end of November. I don't know where she gets her money from. 2 months ago, she was asking me dad how much it would be to get her back garden astroturfed because she's sick and tired of the grass getting out of
What does she
hand.
want to do? Start a football team? What does she want to back garden astroturf?
She likes the sort of green look, but she doesn't like the headache that comes with it. So she's just looking into getting that false grass put in there.
Brilliant.
Don't know how much it is. But.
Went round to Ricky's and had some chicken curry that Ricky's girlfriend Jane had made. Ricky and Jane were going on holiday for a few days and had arranged for Glyn to come in and make sure the cat was okay while they were away. I'm sick of that cat. I was surprised that they hadn't paid for the little shit to go away with them on first class. Blimey, getting a bit vitriolic in the
Why doesn't he like the fact that I've got a cat and I love the cat? Why?
It's just everything in that house that you've got gets sort of special treatment, and it's a cat. And it
What do you mean you
annoys
get
me.
special treatment?
Sometimes
We put food down for it, and sometimes it gets on our lap and we stroke it.
You don't
What-
just stroke it.
We're
you
not sending
massage it. You massage its back. You go, no, you're stressed out.
Well,
You're
no, it's
stressed
good.
out."
No, I'm not saying you stressed out. At no point did I say you stressed out. You said, "What the fuck are you doing for? Is it stressed out or something?" I like touching my cat.
To be honest with you, I don't like Ricky's cat.
I can't believe
Because every time I go around there, it goes straight for the ghoulies.
But it's like the lizard thing you've got. It's just sat there. You've bought a big box, right, to be in.
Right,
The
one
last
is a salamander, so it's an amphibian. It's
Yeah.
not a box; it's a big vivarium.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
And
is...
as it and if you're going to criticise someone for just sitting there, having a round head and doing nothing with its life, people who live in glass houses,
No,
we've
but
done this one.
Do you know what gets me though, right, Steve? When I was there, I was looking at it and I thought, is it dead? Right, because he's just sat there. Like,
And it was thinking exactly the same fucking
he sat
thing.
there, not moving, right? And then on the top of the box is like a box full of crickets and stuff. That's it. It's food,
Yeah.
right? But they were more active than the thing that it was going to feed. Get rid of the lizard. Keep them in there. More entertaining. Don't understand it.
A few months back, a girl who was having a kid showed me one of them scans of the kid that was in her. That's science gone mad, innit? I couldn't think of anything nice to say, as it looked like a frog.
Do you know why we've got to that point? What? Why have we got to see something that young? Why?
Because people can keep an eye on the progress of the baby in the womb.
Yeah, but why are they printing it out and stuff? Surely that's for a doctor to see.
Well, that's just an added bonus for people who are interested in such
But
things.
that's like saying, why do you take pictures of anything?
No, but what I mean is, why? At what point are we going to stop? Are we going to start sort of X-raying the fella's testicles and saying, well, there it is at a really young age? Well, where are we going to stop?
It's just horses for courses, isn't it? Some people like to have a record of their baby in the womb. They
That's
like
right.
to show their baby. They're
They sit
excited
there-
about it.
They sit down and they show the friends the slideshow. That's
go.
the birth. Oh, that's the conception. Oh, look, Ron's going a bit mad there, isn't he?
But why do I need to see this? This is what I'm saying. It was an awkward situation because she was happy with it. I was like, oh, God. You know what I mean? It was an odd-looking thing. I couldn't say, oh, it looks like you, because that would be a diss.
Oh, chimpanzee, that is only gonna bring it down a little.
That's the jingle for Karl's diary, excerpts of which we read each week. Get straight into it. A band from the Conga have won the Best Newcomers in a Radio 3 competition. They use pots and pans for instruments. It says that the Conga is a poor, sad place. So why do people do that happy dance at the end of parties called the Conga?
Right, one is the Congo. There's no place called the Conga. They come from a place called the Congo.
Conga! Fucking hell, you're such a...
Met Suzanne at Euston Station. I said I would sort out the tea tonight, so I called the curry house. The fella couldn't understand me. I asked for 2 poppadoms. He kept saying, how many? I kept saying 2. He still couldn't understand. I said 1 more than 1. He understood. When we picked up the food and took it home, there were 5 poppadoms in the bag.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
There is a restaurant somewhere that sells knobs to eat.
No, there's not.
There is.
No, there's not.
No, there is.
It says that women can't eat too many of them, and if you want a seal's knob for dinner, you have to book in advance.
Right, it's gobbledygook. This is the ramblings of a madman again.
It's a trend, he writes. It won't last long. It'll be like hummus. Called Ricky and asked what the difference is between the mind and the brain.
Yeah, he did.
That's a hell of a phone call
Yeah,
to get.
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Ricky did explain, but I can't remember what he said. I wondered at what age you are when the mind kicks in. Okay. Ricky changed the subject and said there is an island called Spider Island. There's nothing but spiders on it. A bloke went to visit the island and said there was 1,000 types of spider in one tree.
What do you think about that? What do you think of an island that's just full of spiders?
I don't know, because you need spiders. I don't know what they do, but they say a world without spiders wouldn't be good. But they sort of do something. There's something about if you did get rid of them all, it would have an effect.
Well, of course it would. Get rid of anything, it would have an effect.
Not everything though. Like I've said, jellyfish and what have you.
Well, no.
It's 97% water or something.
Yeah.
So how much are they doing? Just give them another 3%, make them water. And that's more useful.
Give them another 3% and make them water. Oh, God.
Went into the gadget shop today. It's full of stuff that we don't need. Gadget used to be a good word that made you think of James Bond with all his gadgets. The best thing I could find in the shop was a clock that ran on potatoes. We are definitely going backwards.
I agree. Well, who cares about that? A little electrical impulse. So what?
Had a night out with old schoolmate. Found out about more of the other lads I went to school with. One is living underground.
What do you mean living underground? Not like a mole. Do you
Yeah.
mean he's got a basement, or do you mean he digs a hole every night?
My mate went to visit him and he said it had been raining really heavily and that, and it's all the rain's running in.
What do you mean he went to visit him? He went down here. What's that? That's an hole in the ground. Yeah, come in.
He just said, "Oh, come round to us," and he's living underground.
What do you mean he's living underground?
He's happy down there. He said it was really muddy and what have you. He said he won't be going back to visit him.
I believe this, though. I believe someone he went to school with now lives in a hole. That doesn't shock me.
You spent far too long with him, if that, now you're just happy to accept.
I totally accept that. I'd be surprised if I walked round where he lived that there weren't more people living in holes. His dad wanted to throw his budgie on the fire.
True.
His budgie died, his dad said, let's throw it on the fire. I mean, his mum, what did your mum do?
She just was worried about the other bird that was left, so she made it a bit of company by getting a rock, getting a feather off the dead budgie, sticking it on the rock, putting it in the cage.
So, a
Bit of
man
company.
living in a hole
It's not
is
unusual.
not that bizarre. Right, carry on.
Watched a film about Hitler. Didn't watch all of it as it was subtitled. Can't be doing with that. Asked Suzanne if cinemas are full of deaf people when they're showing subtitled films. She said, shh, I'm trying to watch it. I said, what do you mean, shh? It's subtitled, I can make as much noise as I want.
Yeah.
She's a lucky, lucky woman.
You must be a joy to watch a subtitled film. I mean, the concentration is up there already. It's not as easy as when you're hearing it, because you read things, but it's possible. If you had a buffoon going, I'm just going to sit here and make as much noise as I want, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Do that in a cinema. Just walk into a subtitled film and go, right, everybody, let's all do the Congo.
We're having our bathroom done. The bathroom man was round at 9 this morning. We weren't allowed to use the shower because it all had to be bone dry before we could use his waterproof filler. Not that waterproof then. Went for a brew with Ricky. We talked about monkeys and how they are closer to humans than they are to apes, and how bees will drink cider to get off their heads. Now and again there is a bee that lets the drinking get in the way of the work, and other bees sting it to death. Blimey.
Yeah, well, there are bees. They love a drink, and they will drink pure alcohol. They love getting off it, and they fall down and they're drunk, right? But some bees get addicted in the same sort of percentage as human addiction. Like 10% of bees, they can't get enough of it. They take ethanol, they take cider apples and that, and then when they get back to the hive, they go in a bit pissed, and they've got guard bees, and they go, "Come on, we've all had a drink."
Bouncers.
Yeah. They sort of are, right? And they push them away, and they push them away again. Then the next time they go, right, I've had enough. And they give it a good hiding. And Carl couldn't get over this. I saw his face, but I knew that he was thinking of that bee with sort of like eyes rolling around his head, a little bit belligerent with his jacket on backwards.
Yeah.
And the bouncer going, come on, son, we've all had enough. Let's move away,
Yeah.
move away.
You're not coming in, right? You're wearing trainers.
Yeah, you're wearing 3 pairs of trainers, and
yeah.
I'm sick of it,
But what I did find out, because I went home and went on the computer trying to find out about drunk bees knocking about, they're not actually meant to fly. It's only because they don't know.
Fly.
Well, no, but they're if they were told that you're not actually designed to fly, they wouldn't bother.
No, this is that thing that goes around that aerodynamically, on the face of it, looking at the size of the wings and the body proportions and everything, that it's a surprise that they can fly. Okay, it's not that. No one's ever told them they can't, and as soon as someone tells them you're not meant to fly, they all fall out of the sky going, "Oh, what are we doing?" Like in a cartoon.
No, but it's something about the confidence and that. At the moment, nobody's saying
It's nothing to do
to
with the confidence. There is no such thing as confidence in bees. A bee never loses its nerve. That's not why it drinks. Because what are you drinking for? I'm just not confident anymore. There's no point to turn to the bottle. I can't go up there again. You're an idiot.
Oh, chimpanzee's that? He's gone and written it down again.
That's the ever-changing jingle for Karl's diary, excerpts of which we like to read each week. Walked through Covent Garden. There were 5 of them mimes knocking about. I don't understand why people take pictures of mimes. Everyone looks like a mime in a picture.
That's so true. That's really true. If the point is they're staying still, if that's their skill, a picture won't tell that story. That's absolutely true.
My dad took the cat to be put down today because it kept bumping into things since losing its sight. My mum said she's not going to get another one. She said the parrot is looking worried as it's seen the budgie and the cat go in the space of 3 months.
Your mum said the parrot's looking worried. What happened to the cat then?
It gets into a lot of fights. It lost one eye, and then it got into another fight and lost another.
Oh,
and it was
no.
just walking around bumping into stuff. The vet sort of said, "Oh, we can do stuff to keep it alive and all that," but it's a bit out of order, isn't it? Because it costs a fortune. They shouldn't tell you.
But
Mum and Dad can't afford to have eyes put on it and stuff.
no, you can't have eyes put on a cat anyway.
No, but they said, "Oh, we can do something here. We can
What?
have its eyes sorted out."
But I don't think you should be allowed cats.
Why?
Not the Pilkington family.
Why not? Well,
They
they have
keep
good
dying.
lives. Yeah, I know, but they have good lives whilst they're still knocking about. It's just that we get through them.
It's a good job you're not going to have kids.
Oh, God almighty. I can't believe it.
A mate sent me a story on email about a bloke in China who has this weird illness that means he can't have his picture taken. That's not the weird bit. If he tries, his body doesn't appear in the photo.
Don't talk shit.
He has had group pictures taken and everyone appeared apart from him.
Don't talk shit.
The
That's
story
bollocks.
had a picture next to it of a family photo and it said he was stood at the back, but you couldn't see him.
Right, he wasn't in the picture.
He was in the picture.
No, he wasn't in the picture.
We've done loads of tests and stuff.
No,
on him.
I haven't done loads of tests. This is bollocks. There's no way this is scientifically possible. What's his want? Yeah, now he's wanted. Just a white bit of paper up on the police wall. Have you seen this man? What man? If you see him, tell us. You're talking shit.
Suzanne watched the film You've Got Mail tonight for about the 14th time. I don't think you could properly fancy someone without seeing them, unless you're blind. I think it's odd when blind people have affairs. Why is that odd?
Just because most stuff is based on looks, isn't it? So you think once they've found someone, they're happy with them. Stick with them.
But no, it's not true. Most things are based on looks.
What I mean is when you first like meet someone and that.
Well, initially it's only looks because
Yeah.
you don't know them.
So that's what I'm saying.
But that's a ridiculous thing to say, isn't it?
Well, no, it's just what I think. I'm not saying that's like fact or anything. I'm just thinking if you're blind, why mess about?
You're still basing on it if it's only looks that
Yeah.
people find. What?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So why is a blind person messing about having an affair?
Because I'm saying that presumably that blind person isn't basing anything on looks.
I just all right. I mean, maybe that's not. I mean more like.
Do you want me
how-
to cross it out? Shall I cross it out? Because
Well,
it's bollocks.
it's just the same way. I think I put how people. I read something in a Sunday paper once with some bloke who was going out with some woman. He ended up going out with a sister who was a twin. If you're gonna have a change, have a change.
Spoke to Ricky about trips to the moon. He was up for going just to see what the world looks like. I came up with the idea of a giant mirror on the moon that would reflect the world back. He had a few questions, but I had the answers.
Yeah.
He changed the subject. I won.
Right. My first question was, how would you get it up there? He said bit by bit. That'd be a good mirror then, wouldn't it? I said, how big would it be? He went, you'd still need a telescope. I said, how would you get it on the right side of the moon, always facing the right? He went, what? He went, does the moon move then? I went, yes.
And if we don't like the mirror on the moon, we can always wallpaper over it. It's Suzanne's birthday tomorrow, so I've got to get her something. I sometimes think it would be best if we didn't celebrate birthdays. I think people would live a bit longer if they didn't know how old they were. Age puts restrictions on things. She said something about wanting one of them posh badges to put on her coat. I will look for one later.
I love the fact that around the time that you've got to buy Suzanne her birthday present, you think that birthday presents are a bad idea.
Got up early, it's Suzanne's birthday, gave her the card and present. She was well happy with her posh badge. She wore it to work. It's quite nice to hear a moment where she was actually happy for once in your company. They always say when you get someone a present, you should buy them something they wouldn't buy themselves. Daft rule. I want something I would buy myself if I had the money. When I was young, my Auntie Nora got me a present I wouldn't buy myself. It was a t-shirt with her face on.